Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I'm Millicent Walker. On the news this hour, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has departed the country today on an official trip to the Republic of Niger as President Buhari continues his private visit in London. Politicians signed peace pact in Bayelsa State ahead of November 16 governorship election, an agreement to ensure peace in the rather volatile election zone. And the parties APC and PDP are talking tough ahead of the Kogi governorship election, raising the intensity of the anticipation ahead of the exercise just a few days away. Welcome everyone to the program. Let's begin this hour with the news of the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, his official trip to the Republic of Niger. The Vice President this morning departed Abuja, the nation's capital, and will be representing President Muhammadu Buhari in Niger Republic, where an extraordinary ECOWAS summit is holding to review the ongoing situation in Guinea-Bissau. He is expected back in Nigeria later today. The West African bloc had on Wednesday given what has been described in the country as an illegal government led by President José Mario Vaz 48 hours to resign or face sanctions. The president had sacked his cabinet on October 29th ahead of the election scheduled for November the 24th. He replaced the outgoing ministers with Faustino Mbali as the new head of government, a team of 17 ministers, 14 secretaries of state. ECOWAS is appealing to those who have been improperly installed in the illegal government to resign. Well, President Vaz had said on Sunday at a campaign rally that he would never reconsider his decision. Both President Buhari and Vice President Professor Osinbajo are now out of the country. The president, the shores of the country last month, his first official trip to Saudi Arabia before proceeding on an official trip to a private visit to London, where he's expected to return in 2 weeks. And to some party politics ahead of the November 16, 2019 governorship elections in Kogi State. The People's Democratic Party are appealing to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure the conduct of free, fair and credible poll. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the Secretary of the Publicity Committee of the party, Mr. Farouk Adejo, also wants security agencies to be alive to their responsibility, their primary responsibility of protecting lives and property. As he claims, there are plans by some politicians to unleash violence in the state through the use of armed thugs and fake security men. Mr. Adejo insists that urgent steps need to be taken by security agencies to curb all forms of violence and threat to peace and democracy in Kogi State.
Have all been directed to recruit thugs that will either be used in disrupting elections in specific areas and in other places provide cover for compromise on unscrupulous INEC staff who will do their bid of rigging and vote manipulation. 1,820 polling units, according to our intelligence across the state, have been earmarked by these desperate people for tinkering, either by violence or other dubious means. Most of these thugs, local and external, hired to execute this agenda, our intelligence review, had undergone training in the jungles of Osara, a village in Adabi local government of Kogi State, and Ajakuta before now. Gentlemen, this is not a wolf cry. If you were at the last stakeholder meeting between INEC, the parties, the candidates, police, and other stakeholders in Lokoja, on October 10th, you will bear testimony to what I'm saying.
Well, the All Progressives Congress, APC, is challenging Governor Sirake Dixon of Bayelsa State to fly on the airport built in the state. The party insists that the governor must account for over 100 billion naira spent on the project. The Bayelsa State governor at his party's campaign in Bayelsa is quoted to have accused the ruling All Progressives Congress of playing politics with the airport license for the state. Governor Dixon is accused of saying that he believes President Buhari deliberately refused to grant him license so as not to use the facility as a campaign issue. The national chairman of the APC, Mr. Oshomole, while speaking to journalists in Abuja, says the facility is of low quality and that even the governor cannot fly on it.
You know for a fact that that airport runway has been flooded. Is it Buhari that flooded the airport? Because the runway is below ground level. And they ought to have carried out proper survey. So the runway is flooded with water because it was not built properly. Now, if President Buhari was to stop it, what stopped the governor by himself flying his private to do a testing flight on the airport? He himself doesn't fly there. It's when the airport is certified that you can say, okay, who is refusing to open it? We challenge Dixon to use his own plane to test run and land on that airport. We challenge Dixon to prove that when the airport was flooded, that flood was caused by Buhari. We challenge him to show the kind of control tower he has built. Truth is, we also challenge him whether it was Buhari who asked him to inflate the contract.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to recognize the candidate of the Social Democratic Party (SDP) in the November 16 governorship election in Kogi State. Justice Folashade Ogunbanjo-Giwa, in her judgment, ruled that INEC lacks the power to disqualify any candidate for an election. The justice accordingly asked INEC to include the names of the governorship and deputy governorship candidates of the SDP, as well as the party's logo on the ballot paper. And the candidates of the People's Democratic Party, the All Progressives Congress, and other political parties they've both signed a peace accord. This is in Bayelsa State ahead of the November 16 governorship election. The signing and agreement to peaceful conduct happened in Yenagoa, the capital, when the umpire INEC held a stakeholders meeting. Now, the INEC boss, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, says all preparations are concluded and INEC is ready to conduct elections in Bayelsa State. The police also say they will withdraw security details from politicians during the election.
INEC is ready for the elections in Bayelsa State. The Commission has also delivered all non-sensitive materials to our office in Yenagoa long ago. They have all been sorted out, categorized and batched, ready to be delivered to the local government areas, wards, and the polling units. The sensitive materials are also ready, and the Central Bank of Nigeria is delivering them to Bayelsa State by this weekend. The normal process of inspection and distribution within the state will be done in the presence of party agents, security agencies, observers, and the media.